Okay. Hello, everybody. Let's see how this works here. I always say that. All right. I've had to move some stuff around. I'm having some issues with my back, specifically a pinched nerve. And so I've made my table very inclined, as you can tell. Or maybe you can't tell. But I'm also concerned now that my head's going to be in the camera. Unless, I guess, I do this with my shot here. I don't need this to be right here. I can take this. Oh, if you're wondering what this is, thank you. Someone just subscribed. Awesome. Okay. Lewis Pierce and Joanella cheered with 3 bits. Thank you. Katie App has subscribed. Awesome. TK Bits. That was 2 hours ago. And I think I missed a big cheer yesterday. Rescue Whale, 2,500 bits, man. I think that's the biggest one to date. So thank you for that. It's very generous. Okay. Hello, everybody. How's the sound? So I remember last time there was some concerns about the sound. So I moved the mic a little closer. Kate helped me with adding an audio filter to increase the gain. Perfect sound. Looking good. Great. Good to hear. Now, if I draw in here, does my head stick in the way? Please let me know. And I'll explain what this is here. Head is blocking lower left corner. Huh. All right, I will try. Okay. All right, then let me try something here. That's too much. All right, I'll just try to be mindful of my head here. Try to draw sideways. So this piece is for Stanley's convention. I think it's next weekend here in LA. They're doing an Adam West dedication, or a panel dedicated to Adam West. I can get the specific details. And yeah, so there's going to be an Adam West charity show at next week's LA Comic-Con. And so this is my shot of Adam West. It's the only second time I've drawn Adam West. You know what I'm going to do? Hold on a second. There's so much room over here. Okay. If I just draw it. Okay, Silver Age Superman has subscribed. Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. Banshee993 has subscribed. Awesome. Great. Okay. How's everyone doing? think it's only, my head only gets in the way on the lower parts here. But if I'm drawing up here, it should be okay, correct? Anyway, so I pinched this nerve in my shoulder blade, and it's messed me up, man. So if you see me grimace, it's because I've got this kind of sharp shooting pain, and then sometimes my fingertips get kind of numb, and by making this more upright, it straightens up my posture a bit more. Michael De Murgis has cheered 100 bits. Okay, so this is line work's done with this, so I'm just going to go in with ink. At some point I'll have links to this stuff here, but this is there we go. It is Black India Rapidograph Ultra Draw. It's waterproof for paper and film. It's pretty transportable. It doesn't leak. It doesn't have like a rubber tip that most ink bottles have, which I find can leak when you apply pressure. What is the angle of your drawing board? I've changed it so it is like, it's like this. It is probably 75 degrees. Before it was like 45 degrees. So it's mostly upright. If I don't tape that, like look, if I put this here, all right, that's pretty upright. Why you have not missed anything. So Kate, are you slow rolling this? Slow mode? Or we're good, because I think this is a sub only. So for people that are here, that are tuning in, if you're wondering why you can't type something in, we've decided to make this live sketch session sub only, meaning you can still watch for free, but to comment in the messages, you have to sub. And then normally I just kind of give the sketches for a sub, non-sub. This time we'll do it for the 5 subs, the 10, and the 25. And obviously if you're 10, you qualify for the 5. If you're 25, you qualify for all 3 categories. And we'll say that you can't win twice today, in the unlikely event that happens. And I also owe Wings a PHARAH sketch, and he asked for it to be the Christmas skin, and so I googled that, and I've actually drawn that character already and given away during one of Brittany and Kelsey's gaming sessions, so hopefully that makes it a lot easier if I've drawn it once before. So I'm going to just quickly ink this and get into it, make sure we hit all 4 of those as quickly as possible. Janella has cheered 100 bits, and normally and I'm gonna have a little fun this time about what the sketches are. So I'm gonna go with the high. I have like the main page, like a ranking of the highest cheer donators or whatever they're called, and I think Rescue Whale holds the position. So if you're here, Rescue, since you hold the title, you can pick the character for the first sketch. Mindful, you're not going to necessarily win it, but you can call it out and try to pick something that's remotely relatable, meaning a lot of people might enjoy, not necessarily like some really obscure character that only you love. But you know what? It's your choice. I'm just giving you that bit of advice. I need a cap. There we go. So this is what I use to hold my ink. It's just a little water bottle cap. I drink a lot of water while I work, keep hydrated, and I basically pour ink into here. And I do that because if I've used like glasses or shot glasses to hold the ink, and what happens is once you're done with it, unless you clean it out, the ink pretty much dries and then it gets crusty and then it crumbles next time you use it, and then basically adulterates your ink and it becomes unusable because it has chunks in it. So with this, I can I use it for 1 or 2 sessions and then I just let it go. This is just a Princeton sable hair brush. It's a number 4. The 4 refers to the diameter width of the brush tip, and I'm just basically dipping it in, dipping into here, and kind of inking as I go. Now normally I would not recommend just going directly to ink. I would take pencils and sort of outline what's going to be black, so you know ahead of time, but I've done this enough times I think I could kind of wing it. And it's just basically, if you look at it, the shadows go around the ends. It's much like a cylinder. If there was a cylinder here, there's a light source here, there's a point here and a point here where the reflections of the objects, the walls around it here, reflect off the cylinder, and the highlight is in the center area. If the light source is stronger, the highlight becomes more pronounced or more defined. And so this forearm is just essentially a weird cylinder that is roughly shaped like this, and it's creating these reflections, and that's what I'm making in. Okay, so it's scrolling by. Is Rescue Whale here? Make yourself known. I'm looking. Welcome, Kratos. BR. Rescue Whale. Yeah, okay, so Rescue Whale, do you have a character in mind? R274 has just subscribed. Welcome. What the blazes is the chair? It's you basically buy. It's like kind of like, so the way I explain it, it's like Bitcoin except it's proprietary to Twitch. So I think you buy like $1.15, and that allows you to donate $1, and then Twitch keeps that 15 cents, about 13% of it. Nightwing sounds good. Nightwing sounds great. We can do Nightwing for sure. So I'm just going to do a little bit more on this. So this part of the chest is kind of flat, and then it drops off to the side of the torso. So that's where the shadows are going to be, kind of in between here. And then this object is round, and so it has its own highlight. So we're going to draw that in there. And as you can see, I'm kind of pushing and also inking at the same time, getting a little bit of a dry brush effect here. All right, creates that shimmery quality. Capes, I think satin or something like that. So I'm trying to create that effect with dry brush. All right, which you can see right there. And then with the mask, how'd they do it? I have reference somewhere. Excuse me, getting in close to this to the mic here. I'll blow out your eardrums. So I'm looking at some of the mask. Sometimes it has a black face to it, but it's pretty subtle, meaning that it's like this whole front piece right here. Alright, so I'm basically adding dry brush to create my edge. I don't want to make it super delineated. Okay. Now I'm thinking maybe I'll just do that rather than going all the way in here. Right? Because if I go all black in here, I'm going to lose some of the delicacy of that here, maybe. Right? So I'm basically just drawing with dry brush, which is kind of like, gives you a bit of a charcoal kind of feel to it. Right? Kind of retain that kind of shimmery, again, shiny fabric feel. Okay. So now I'm going to do the center area here, and then I'll go in with black to do the rest. So I've got a good dry brush thing going on here, so I kind of want to use it as much as possible. Alright, and then go in with ink. Basically, if you guys draw a lot, you'll find the same thing, that you'll pinch this nerve right underneath your shoulder blade. It feels pretty uncomfortable. I actually ordered a back brace. Basically pulls your shoulders back, which also alleviates the pain, but it doesn't arrive till tonight around 8 o'clock, so I can't use it. Kind of missing it right now, though. Same with the dry brush effect here. Get in here. It's the same thing. Think of the cylinder here. The darkest reflections or the shadows are going to go along the edge here, just like what we did here and here, here and here. The fact that it's white here is because there's light here, and it's basically creating highlights on the sides. Got all sorts of crazy activity going on here. And excuse me. There we go. Rhododus or Rhododus? Rhododus. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for subscribing. Proper Artist has subscribed. Katie App has cheered 100. Thank you. Superhero Swimmer, hey, has subscribed. Raposaux has subscribed. Elo Ladomir has subscribed. Rushlock has subscribed. So thank you guys. And by guys, I mean gals and guys. Alright. Ronnie Ronnie Wasek Cyborg has cheered 500. Thank you, dude. And by dude, I mean both guys and girls. I have no idea of telling from these handles. Got a black down here. Okay. Now I'm just going to do the cape. Doing the scallops, so every other kind of fold. And do kind of a rough texture. I'm doing that with a brush because that'll give me like bigger cuts, blunter cuts, I guess, than a pen tip. And it's also faster. Chase has cheered 75 bits. Thank you. Okay, so going back to the bits, right? So it's like Bitcoin. It's a proprietary unit of currency that Twitch has created. Other people have actually just donated straight through the donation page, I think, on the first, and that qualifies as well. I would keep that on a separate ledger, I guess, or separate, because that doesn't show up on the widget for top cheers, but I will keep track of that, I guess. Don't want to penalize those folks. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the... Actually, I think I can do it this way. Just kind of have to go in and do it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Meaning these little, this little gradation that I'm doing. If I think about it too much, like that, it doesn't turn out right. Okay. We do this gargoyle. Thing with the gargoyle, I don't want it to look like an animal, so I will ink it in a way that kind of gives it a bit of a rocky texture. His shoulder over here. This Northern Boy has subscribed. Thank you, Northern Boy. All right. Will Bruce Art has cheered 1,000 bits. Cool. Thank you. Sorry about that. Hopefully my shoulder blade, the nerve will settle down, and then I can readjust my table. Because there are a few people that do draw very inclined like this, but it's not my favorite. Just because the ink can potentially run down. You can even see like the paper is lifting up off the board because I've got this other thing underneath. Anyway, so this is for the Adam West charity event at LA Comic Con. Hopefully they'll have a link. If you're interested, you can bid without going. I'm not sure exactly what the details are. I will post it up on my Instagram and Twitter account, so you guys, if you're interested, I'm bidding on it. It goes to a great cause, of course, and it's in honor of the late great Adam West, who I was very fortunate enough to actually meet and spend some time with on the Blu-ray or on the DVD collection of the 1966 show. In the extra section, there's a thing that Kevin Smith hosts with Ralph Garman and myself and I think Phil Morris, I think. And we basically talk about our love of the original show and kind of the impact it had on us. And Adam West actually comes on. We do a little bit of acting, if you can believe it. He does some stuff off camera and we kind of react to it. And I'm not much of an actor. In fact, I'm not an actor at all, so that was always a challenge. So if you want to see some lame acting, you can see my quote-unquote performance on that. But it was really cool to be, in Adam's presence. Looks like someone's here. And kind of share with him what the show meant to all of us. It was a really cool event. And then actually, I saw him actually at a couple other work-related events. There was a junk food, the t-shirt manufacturer. They did an event at a store, a comic shop here in LA, and he was there as well. So, and then at Comic-Con, of course. So I've seen him several times, but when we shot for that DVD, that was really the only time I got to have a long, in-depth conversation with him. All right, hold on one second. Hello? Hey, Luke, Instacart's here. Can you open the front door for me? Okay. Or the kitchen door. Sorry. Instacart. Phone so loud. Yes, it is. It is loud indeed. Crispy's at the door. That's when I send security in. I should get a red Commissioner Gordon phone for that, but it's all tied into a fancy system where it can control like the front gate and everything. We can page other rooms. It's a full-on kind of office phone here at the house. Hope's Last Witch. 5,000 bits. Awesome, man. Or awesome. Thank you very much. Who is your favorite Overwatch? Oh, you know what? There are messages here. Duh. God, I suck. I'm sorry. Who is your favorite Overwatch character? Thank you for streaming for us. Hope your back gets better. Thank you. I've had this happen before. Actually, it happened when I first got into comics. I was trying to break in, and I was drawing a lot for the first time, and it's exactly that same feeling. And so I kind of know how to treat it. My favorite Overwatch character, I only play one, is Roadhog. He's pretty basic. I played him though after he was nerfed, and people were kind of sharing how OP he was before then. But then just recently they allowed him to you can move and do your healing move, self-healing move. So that actually made him better. So that was a cool minor improvement. So it's always fun to see the devs kind of balance the characters and react to what the fans are saying, listen to their feedback. Yeah, but he's mine. The other ones are, they just require more finesse. They have fewer hit points. I like just kind of jumping into battle, and but yeah, there are other characters I'll probably try out as well. I think Soldier, maybe people are saying that's a pretty good character for beginners to kind of learn the ropes on. So there's some other questions here. Randy was a cyborg. Sorry, I can't afford more. Dude, don't apologize at all. I mean, it's very generous. Thank you for inspiring us artists to improve and learn. My pleasure. I've enjoyed these sessions. It's been very cool. It's almost like doing a panel, because I do panels at Comic-Cons where I talk about my career and draw for a live audience. And it's roughly about the same number of people that tune in online, and then I give the sketches away. But because you can see the people, you feel like there's pressure to kind of entertain them more. If not that I'm not trying to entertain you guys, but because I can't hear anyone's feedback. And when I say entertain, try to be funny or say something witty. Or with this, it's a little more relaxed, and I can just kind of focus on the art and actually I'm more productive that way, because usually when I start talking, I stop drawing, because I'm like going, man, when I do these panels at conventions, I maybe get 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most, but usually like 2 sketches done. And when I do these sessions online, I'm much more productive. But then again, I do stream for a little bit longer than the typical 50 minutes of a panel. So it's a combination of all those factors. Okay, yeah, somebody's here. Hello? Hello? Sure. All right. You know what? I'm just going to open the gate remotely. Excuse me 1 second. Just keep it open, otherwise that thing is... So we're actually celebrating our son's 4th birthday today. We tend to celebrate birthdays here at the house multiple times. I don't know why, but kids. So this is the official party, because his birthday was actually Friday. So a bunch of people are coming over. Okay. Crispy. It's cold outside. Dude, it's California. It is like super warm. He's in, boys. What is the key to the forehead shadow? It's the same thing as the cylinder. Okay. It's the exact same thing. Meaning, if you got the cylinder here, the shadows are the reflections of objects over here and here, basically get reflected there. Because it's a dome like this, kind of like a thumb again, right? The lines basically don't go to the top because there's no top, so the reflection of this goes over here and here. So that's kind of the reflection of the ceiling. Because if you had a sphere, sorry, all right, the room objects get reflected all around. They get bent, right? So it's you would see people. You might see a window, and those are the things that basically are these things here. So if you look at like a silver ball or a glass and look at what you see on the edges, you'll actually see reflections of objects. And so, hold on a second. Hey, can you keep that down? Thank you. And so, because it's a dome, the reflection basically bends across the top. So if you think about his head here, it's a dome, and so the reflection basically goes around and comes down the sides, just like here and here. Okay? I thought that was crispy, actually. I was going to go out and cap that guy. That bastard. Who is crispy? Wow. Thank you, Hope's Last Witch. Happy birthday to your son. I will go and buy him something very cool. That's very generous of you. He's really into Nerf guns. He's got like 10 or 15 of them, I think, at this point. It's quite an arsenal. Anyway, all right, so let me go and finish this here. You know what? It's already 10:20, so I'm just gonna. You guys have seen enough of this. I can finish this up later. Let me move on to the sketches, and I'll start with PHARAH, then go to Nightwing, and then we have 2 more. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this over here. I'm just going to put more blacks in here and here. I might put some black here into the window. Maybe after I do this, I'll kind of see how it goes. Or I'll definitely put black here in the sky with stars, and maybe I'll just take a reflection of him and cast a shadow here, and then do the night sky. If there's time, I'll come back to it, but I don't think there will be, so I'm just moving this over here for now. All right, so PHARAH, it's going to be a very quick headshot. All right. So PHARAH, I'm looking at her. There's something going on with her eye. I need a close-up of that, so I'll figure that out later after I... So it's just a headshot. So the main thing is I have to make sure that I get the important things in. So it's mostly the shoulder armor here, and then there look to be some spikes. And then it pops out here. Some black shapes here that form the armor on her shoulder. And then hair goes like this. Okay. And now I'm going to find a closer shot of her. There we go. Looks like it's some sort of weird Illuminati thing that's going on here. Okay. Okay, I need to get a 0.8 marker here. I thought I had 0.8 over here. Let's see what I got. .5, perfect. Hopefully this 0.5 works well. Okay, so Albert4286 has subscribed. Tooth has cheered 3 bits, thank you. Chuck Arnold has resubscribed, thank you. Greeny Meanie has subscribed. King Nork has subscribed. If there are any people I miss, I apologize. I'm trying to keep up here, but sometimes it's a challenge. So I usually start with the eyebrows. If you saw any of my videos before, alright, just lining these elements up here. Okay, and the eyes. The outer edges here have the thickest lines. That creates the sort of the more feminine, exotic look. Sorry, my shoulder blade. Oh. All right. Okay. Okay. Got that going on. And then crystals here. And I have a core. A ruler on it so it doesn't smear. Okay. So you notice that these beads here, I don't draw each bead, I draw the shadows first, right? And then draw the outer edge. And that's just to make them look a little more three-dimensional. If you draw each bead, you're going to double up on these lines here in the center. I mean, that's one way of approaching it, but the other way is you draw the shadows and then you draw around it. It makes it feel a little more kinetic, three-dimensional, less like you're drawing or tracing the silhouette of an object, and more creating it through the use of shadows, which I think is the more effective way to draw. So like when we draw hair, we're drawing the shadow of clumps of hair, not the hair itself. That kind of thing, right? Okay. All right. I'm turning it because I don't want to get in the frame, and also it's a little easier on my arm not to try to hit certain angles here. I guess this is the Christmas skin. Everyone kind of had icicle kind of ice armor of some sort. The thing with this armor, honestly, it's so complex, even if I drew it a little wrong, you probably would not notice. Maybe the diest of diehards would notice it. But for the most part, if you get, what I've noticed with all this stuff is that if you get pretty close, can't really tell the difference. Stumpy has subscribed. Thank you, Stumpy. Where's the tip? Okay. Have you ever drawn any Space Marines? Warhammer 40k. I've never played Warhammer 40k. I'm familiar with it, but I don't know. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to finish this up real quick. Same thing with that cylinder that had the highlight. The highlight's going to run pretty much along the length of that, her hair up here. So I'm going to keep that. going there, and then this falls in the shadow because it's on the side of her head. To the inside of the armor there. Kind of drawn with this brush here. Okay, I'm going to simplify some of this. It's a little too I don't know what's the word, a little too bristly with too many hairs, so this is more of a Paul Smith kind of animated take on here. Right. So I'm very focused on what this white shape is that I'm creating with the black ink. And then there are a couple design elements that went over here. And my preference is to do this with a brush rather than a Sharpie. Sharpie can give you some very quick, thicker lines, but the ink tends to fade over time, like over many years, and the fumes are not great for you, at least I find. And the ink also bleeds. It's very strong. It will go seep into the texture of the paper itself, and the line's not quite as sharp as you would want it to be. Where I'm putting these black lines now is independent of the armor. It's just kind of a design element, because I'm not going to draw the rest of the armor. It's kind of a bust, right? Some of it's shadows, some of it's her insignia, some of the design work that's part of the armor. Some of it's the gapping in between the armor itself. Right? So this sketch was won by, oops, smeared, I have to wipe that out. A person that was watching the game feed of my daughters Kelsey and Brittany as they were playing Overwatch. We don't always give away sketch, but every now and then for the people that kind of tune in, so there's that. Okay. All right, so if you saw it, there's more detail over here than the spikes that are on the back over there. Again, just the same principle as that cylinder that had the shadows. And maybe we even lean into the smear a little bit. Okay. Alright, now I'm just going to add a very quick background to this. Okay. Okay. Now it's white out. There's going to be splatter. I'm going to do all the splatter, actually, if there's splatter, on these other sketches at the end. So I can do it all at once and not smear white out on the rest of this drawing. Love all the emotes. The whiteout emotes in force. Nice. Janella, thank you. Sharing 6 bits. Hold on, I need to put a little more ink in here. I'll clean up this line. Okay. All right, that's more or less done. I think kind of dry brush to create metal reflection of cold side has subscribed. Thank you very much. Very cool. Thank you. Welcome. Okay. Use the dry brush to do a little mascara effect there. Maybe a little dusting on the lips here. All right, got it? Cool. All right, we'll come back to this and do some splatter for stars or something to kind of jazz it up a little bit. All right, we're gonna move on to Nightwing. Katie App has donated 100 bits. Thank you very much. Okay. Pencil, pencil, pencil. My kingdom for a pencil. Here we go. Am I ambidextrous? Absolutely not. How's the shoulder doing? I can definitely feel it. So, Nightwing. So I'm going to turn it this way. Nightwing. I'm like, who's Nightwing? So I'm going to do something designy here. All right, that's his costume. His neck. It's kind of a longer, thinner face than Batman. Ear, eye, costume, or his mask goes on the nose. Bit of a smirk. And then the hair that infamously falls down in front of his face, and he'd always be kind of moving it out of his field of vision. A little bit of a cerebellum, back part of his head, because he is younger. And of course it's just a gesture drawing, basically just constructing my shapes. Maybe his face looks a little long. That eye might be a little high, so in my head I'm kind of mentally giving myself notes of what to correct as I get into the inking part of it. Okay. Mullet? Of course, he's got to have the mullet. All right. Sideburns too. All right. This looks crazy already. Okay. Thank you. I think that's good, right? Crazy. Okay. All right. Let's ink this here. Start with the eyes again. All right, come down to the nose. It has a little bit of more of a bounce to it. All right, sort of a ski slope curve at the tip. Plays up more of his puckish behavior, I guess, or his attitude. Crazy mask. I don't want to make him look too young. I think I sort of see him as like early 20s, so I'm gonna give him a little bit more of a fuller jawline than I initially put into the pencils here. All right. He's the only one that allows to get on Batman's nerves and still be allowed into the cave. Well, they do have a lot of history. I mean, think about this character. Start off as the boy wonder. Saw his family murdered in front of his eyes, but turned out very different than Batman did. Right, got his hair there. And I'm not so concerned about where the silhouette of the top part of the hair is, just because that's where the light hits. And if I work off the sides and move towards the top, it just sort of naturally finds its own kind of ground, I guess, if I can say that. That was probably a mistake. It's a little more like that. Okay. I'm just going to start filling in the black here. Need to look higher up, don't I? Okay. At panels, at conventions, sometimes I would have fans in the audience come up and help me, and they would, I'd give them a brush and some ink and have them fill in the blacks. All the shadows. And they would all do it to different degrees of ability, which made for interesting sketches, but that's cool. I decided not to go all the way black. Still leave some highlights. This is a cylinder, so this is black material, so the highlights that we were talking about on that cylinder before, they run here and here, will actually be highlights on this one. So instead of the black that I had before, it'll be white. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to go black all the way to the edges here. These are tendons on the side of the neck. Probably go in with white out and kind of hit some of those a little bit tighter. I had the middle part of the muscle thing way over too far, so I'll have to correct that with white out. Okay, now we can do the hair. Start on the sides, because I know they're definitely all black. Michael De Morgus, 100 bits, very cool, thank you very much. Alright, and now the hair over here. Okay, so in many ways that's the hair, but it's also the shadow of the hair. And make sure I'm not in the shot here. and then let me just finish up. This mask is kind of metallic, so it has some sheen to it. Thank you, Bruce Will Art. Okay, smeared some more ink on my hands here. Same thing with Farah's hair. Looking for that highlight that defines the structure of the clumps of hair underneath. Again, the top I'm not as concerned about. I'll figure that out later. Fix this up a little bit more. They're not even if this part is foreshortened and it's thinner than this, it's way too thin. And this is too thick, so I gotta compensate here. Alright, while we wait for this to dry, and I'm going with white out the end before we give it away, I guess I can move on to the next sketch idea. I am going to look at okay, Hope/Witch. Okay, Hope/Witch now holds the leader position. Hope/Witch. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I just glanced at it. Do you have a character you would like to see me sketch to give away? Woohoo! I'm not familiar with that character. Hope/Twitch. Hope/Twitch. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's go back to Overwatch, okay? Blackwatch McCree. Okay. Blackwatch McCree. I'm gonna have to Google that one. Okay. One second, guys. Let me just beef up some of these lines here. All right. So I'm gonna put this over here. I need to Google All right, I'm going to do Halloween Mercy. That's super cute. All right. Put that there. Excuse me, my stomach is growling. All right. And I'm just rearranging some windows here, guys. So bear with me. I need to stretch out my arm. Yo's Bell has subscribed as well. Thank you. All right. Halloween Mercy. It's interesting, the requests you get, you know, the Overwatch characters are so popular. Even when I put up on Instagram, you would think, oh, comic book fans wouldn't be interested, but obviously a lot of people play the game. But also, I think, to their credit, Blizzard really picked a lot of very cool archetypes that exist in a lot of different universes, IP, whatever you want to call it, and kind of, you know, created like the ultimate versions of all these kind of characters. Actually, a little sassier looking than what I've done here. So let me see if there's a... Just looking at different... When I say sassy, I mean she looks more pissed off, I think, than what I'm drawing here. And I'm looking for an eraser without dropping this. Art has become a three-dimensional sport at this point. Alright, where's an eraser? There we go. Okay. This is Halloween Mercy, Crispy. I have this weird thing. Me and Crispy have this connection. Every time I look over, he's got some comment. It's like he's speaking to me. I gotta get that fixed. Can I ask you why you are changing the pencil you begin with each sketch? So this one is a gift from a buddy of mine. He bought me a bunch of pencils for my birthday. Known him for a long time. He's a reporter, but he's also a comics fan. And I'll tell you that I just grab whatever's nearby. I'm drawing with this pencil because it happens to be over there. I've got, you know, hundreds of pencils, different kinds of pencils. It really doesn't matter. As long as the tip isn't, here's another one. This one actually was a little harder, a little sharper, and so the line work wasn't as soft. I prefer a softer tip, but because it allows you to move more quickly and get more expression faster on the page, and get a little bit of a lighter line. But then a day, since it's just underdrawing and not the final drawing, it really doesn't matter. Now I'm looking for my 0.5 marker. There it is. Okay. What means the point of the chin on your male characters? Cleft chin. Oh my gosh, it's that guy. There was some guy online that was just hounding me on Twitter, going, "What does the line on the end of the chin mean? Is it a cleft line or is it part of the construction?" I honestly don't know, man. It's not important. I don't know. Does it matter? You're focusing on the wrong thing. So with these Overwatch characters, I still try to infuse my own style into a bit, but I will, for this one, go a little more cartoony, because those characters are more anime inspired, I think, than traditional kind of Western comic book art. I don't know why I'm using this as reference. Hold on a second. Chin fetish. Perhaps. I shouldn't rag. Should not complain. Everyone has a thing they're into, right? Put a little bit of a smile back in there. I don't know. I feel like that's what the sketch is saying to me. And then alright, let's see, make sure I got this chin part done here. She's got this pumpkin thing. Looks like a pumpkin earring. So, mental note, I would go in with whiteout and pop that highlight back in there, so you know what it is. Let me turn this around to the light and look at it. Looks okay. Looks like it's coming along okay. And then she's got this hair that kind of cascades out. fits in there. And then the hat kind of comes out like this, and then around, and back here. And then she's got this kind of unusual emblem that's looks like lightning or something coming off of her. Yep. So I gotta make sure I captured that. Probably did too thick here, so I'm gonna make sure I get it like that. And then the cone of the head, actually, the hat has to follow here, and so it comes out here. Okay, so we got that. I'm gonna adjust that collar here. And then we have the cape that comes out here. There's a amulet of some sort here. And then the wings, basically. Wings are pretty cool, actually. I want to do them justice and have them kind of flare out like that. Have her cleavage here. Looks like she's got some sort of Overwatch emblem. Down here, if I can find appropriate reference. Where did it go? Okay. Okay. And then it goes all the way around. Okay. And then we'll put the other wing right here. Got it? Okay. I don't think I'm going to have time to do a third one, so I'm just going to go with these two. And then I'll just do one for the sub 25s the next time we get around. I have to get downstairs and kind of help set stuff up. But whoever when we start the next sketch stream, whoever has the top position in the cheer section, I guess we'll call out what the next sketch is for the sub 25s. And that will probably be next Sunday. I will put up a fuller schedule of this week's events later tonight. Are you guys enjoying the earlier start time, the 9:30? It's a little early for people on the West Coast. Or do you guys prefer the 10 o'clock? Or do you prefer the evening one? The evening one that I did in New York City actually had the lowest kind of tune-in rate for Sunday night. People have to work the next day. I can't really stream during the week. I mean, I could, but it would have to be at night, which would be, again, too late for most people, I think. So I've been kind of reserving Saturday and Sunday mornings. And I know I haven't really responded to chat that much today. I do review the streams later and read the comments, so I'd like to hear what you guys think. And then also, for those of you that do game, that like that, we haven't done a PUBG session in a while, you know, possibly this week. I haven't really figured out when, but it'd be good to group up again, get some chicken dinners. Okay. So just filling in the blacks here on this last sketch. And in my mind, I know I'm going to smudge ink in the back, and that's going to do like a pretty cool, hopefully very cool glow effect for the for her wings. D Calvin has resubscribed. War 306 has resubscribed. Typo has resubscribed. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm gonna drop that shadow underneath the chin. That is a given. I'm gonna add some color here. When I say color, just some blacks to kind of give it some grounding. The highlights in the center of that cylindrical shape. All right, amulet. It's got some reflections going on at the side. Same over here. And this cape is going to have a bit of a dry brush kind of feel to it, so I'm going to do that. Need some more ink. Hard to do all that one-handed. Holding the brush, pouring the ink at the same time. That was the reverse underpour, just for those of you scoring at home. Don't often do that in competition. All right. Okay. And then this area is black, I think. Here. So fill that in. How many Overwatch characters? Like 30, maybe, something like. I've done maybe 8 of them, or I think I've done 8 sketches, maybe at this point, six sketches. But I've done a couple duplicates of the characters. But maybe we'll do a gaming session that's Overwatch focused. I'll jump on there and I'll do my kick-ass Roadhog for you guys because I know you guys want to see that. Okay, let's see. Almost done. Okay, now I'm gonna do the front part of the phalanges here. As you can see, I'm not worried about cutting into the lines I've drawn because in my head I already know I'm going to be pulling out that white out and fixing all that. Okay. So, and here's the other phalange. Fancy word for wing. Okay. Oh, see that neck? It's got to go here. That was just a really bad mistake waiting to happen. Okay, put some rendering here. Side of the torso. Thank you guys for hanging in there. We've kind of gone past our allotted time. Be done shortly. Okay. All right. Actually, while we're waiting, is there, so I know I could do a sub-only roll, but I don't think I could differentiate it by level. So what we'll do is it'll be the honor system, but not so much honor system in that once someone wins, I will double check and make sure you guys are at the appropriate sub-level to win. Does that make sense? Unless, Kate, you can confirm that there's a way to do it by sub-level. I'll wait for your response in the comment section. Okay, let's just tape that up, take a look and kind of catch up, see what's going on. I think I'll do the Nightwing for the 5 sub-level and then the Mercy for the 10 sub-level, and then next week I will start with the 25 since I was going to do it this time but ran out of time. Is there a level for Prime? I think Prime is the same thing. I think it counts as the 5, correct? The 25 does get, okay, so when I say the 5 level, it's not just for 5, it's 5, 10, and 25, and the 10 would be for 10 and 25s. When there's a 25, it's just for people that are at the 25 level. Sorry for the confusion. So when to hear from Kate what she said, maybe it scrolled by. Prime is 5, okay, we have confirmation on that, that's great. And so I don't think there's a way to differentiate on Nightbot, which is what we use. So basically I'll look at the winner and figure out what level you're at. And if you're not the right level, we will re-roll to everyone's delight. Okay? All right, so I'm letting that dry. And I'm going to go in here on Nightwing and do some ink effects very quickly. Okay. So I got that down. Now I just need to do this one. Okay, so I gotta basically do. Okay. 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 All right. Oh, I'm trying to read this message here. Right, right. That's right. Kate has a good suggestion. So basically, if you win, to prove that you're at the sub level, just drop the appropriate tier emote. So there's a Batman tier emote for the 25, and then there's a Mason head for the 10s, and then everyone else is in the 5s. And then as far as TwitchCon, I don't think I am going to TwitchCon. I might be in the area, but I don't think I'm going to be in attendance. Kind of waiting to hear back from the con people, but I don't think it's going to happen. So maybe next year. Okay. Anything else? And yes, oh shoot, that was bad. Great. So apparently, if you scroll up on Chrome, the whole page disappears. If you scroll up on Chrome, the whole page disappears. Okay. Fantastic. And then we'll probably also make the portfolio reviews sub only for chat. Obviously, anyone can tune in. It's always free. But I don't know if we're going to implement that right away. For the most part, those have been less popular, and so the idea is not to have to resort to slow mode. But if it starts getting busier, then we'll go to a sub only chat on that as well. But again, anyone can tune in. Okay. Something's here. Oh, what the heck happened there? That was weird. Something had exploded with the nib. It's, I think the whiteout kind of pulled down at the bottom of that hair, and then the metal nib went through it, creating this giant, like I picked out a scab or something. It's gross. Get all this cleaned up here, and cleaned up in a way you can actually see me do it. Hopefully my head's not in the way. Okay. I'm just doing kind of progressive highlights. So I have one here, 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 and they get kind of smaller as they go up. It's just kind of a designy thing to do. Okay, and now I'm gonna get the, she has a kind of a Boy George kind of thing going on with this look, for those of you from the 80s that know who that is. Culture Club. Alright, so I've done that. We'll come back to that. Jonella has subscribed. Joe Darkblade has subscribed. Very cool. Like I said, I'm going to re-establish where that center line goes. There's just kind of nonsensical lines, but they kind of mean things. They're also very designy too. Just kind of adds a little energy and flair to the piece. Okay. I just realized when I put white out, I don't think you can see me do it. I think the nib is in the way. So I apologize for that. Again, hopefully my back will be better and I could be drawing at a better angle. At least better angle for the camera, not so much for my back. But all right. Okay. Got that, I think. I'm just going to do one last thing on this one here. Some of these lines are a little caveman-like, a little primitive. Just going to clean them up. Basically add a little more point and polish to the end. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I gotta get the splatter tool. Whoops, sorry about that. That was bad. And let's see what we got. First, I'm gonna start off with a business card. Business card will give me the bigger drops, and then I have a toothbrush, which will give me more of the finer splatter. So need a flat surface to pour this out onto. All right. toothpaste, or toothpaste, what am I saying? Toothbrush effect. And this will give you a much more kind of concentrated, almost glow-like, concentrated glow-like effect. Probably a bad place to put that. Okay. I keep saying okay. It's my way of willing myself to go faster. And get rid of some of the splatter that obviously would not be as seen underside. Still some of it will splatter over. All right. Clean up some of this. Little leakage right there in the gaps. See if I can see that. All right. And then one gap left right here. That didn't work so well. Try one more time. Okay, looks good. Stop there. Oh, so Sharpie. I do sign it. So that one's done. This one, we just need some stars. And I lost my business card. Where'd it go? It's alright, I'll just use this piece of paper. Oh, there it is. Okay, that one's done. And then this last one here. Sort of night sky. Almost done. And yeah, so that's that. All right, so let's give these away. All right. Okay. So this one I already spoken for. It goes to wings. This one here will be a sub 10 and Nightwing sub 5. Actually, that's poor placement. There we go. Even that is not ideal. All right. Okay. That's not what I want to do. Excuse me. Trying to. My finger will not register on my touch pad here. One second, everyone. I thought I had a window already open. Apparently I did not. There we go. No, that's not it. All right, well. All right, so everyone just okay, we'll do the subs only. So subscribers only, just go ahead, type something in, just all right, you don't have to type more than one thing, but good luck, everyone. Just waiting for people to get there. Just one thing: if you spam too much, you'll get auto locked out, which is a bad thing. So once you type something, it registers you into the giveaway. Okay, I think I'm going to hit it now because it doesn't seem to be up. We went up a little bit more. I'll give it another 15 seconds. All right, here we go. The winner is Jathu Khan, a subscriber since, well, I don't know when he was subscribing. He's following since August 26th. So, congrats. So, Jathu Khan, I will send you a message right now. So I need to know who to dedicate it to and where to mail it to. If you're outside the United States, I will ask you to pay for the postage. It's like $40 to Europe and $10 to Canada. That's what I've noticed so far. My message is very brutally short and literally is like who to make this out to and where to send it. All right, let's go back. All right, now this one will be for the 10. So if you win, I need you to emote the Mason head. So good luck for that. Okay, this will be... Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have you guys type in a keyword. So type in Mason. Actually, hold on a second. Wait. Okay. All right, so you have to type in Mason and you have to be a level 10. We'll see if this works. I'll give it another minute for the people that might have been. Okay. Okay. All right, I'm gonna wait another 30 seconds for people that might have been in the restroom, bathroom. If you were, you just have to type in Mason to be eligible for this. It's case insensitive, but you also have to be a 10 sub to win. If you're not, and you can't, or a 25 sub, take that back. You could be a 25 sub. All right, ready? I'm gonna roll it. Okay, Will Bruce Art. Following since October 2nd. Will Bruce Art, please type in, like, show the emote that proves that you are a 10 or a 25. It's case insensitive, Kate. At least that's what it said on Nightbot. Okay, well, Bruce Art, you got it. Okay. I'm going to send you that message right now. All right, guys, we went long, so thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, later tonight, you'll see the rest of my schedule for next week, this week. And, you know, I think the best way to send me messages would either be Instagram or Twitter. If there are things that you want to see, things you don't want to see, things that could be improved upon, I'd love to hear it. Or you can type in the chat. I will review it later at some point. So thank you again. Thank you, Kate, for moderating. Thank you all the people that have come and supported this feed, this stream since the inception, or even if you're just new. It's very cool to have you guys here, and have a good rest of the weekend. All right, take care.